What's up guys, Velocity here. Now a lot of people talk about regret as being one of the driving forces of our lives. We change our actions based on feeling regret or feeling that we somehow made mistakes in the past and that we wish that we hadn't made those. There's always been the cliche phrases like live with no regrets, but I really want to talk about what regret is and why I feel like no one should ever really have regrets. So stay tuned and enjoy the video. Every day, each one of us make choices, and those choices make up our lives. And when we look at some of the bigger choices in our lives, like what kind of cars we drive, what kind of relationship partners we have, what choices we make as to what we eat, and our health choices, a lot of people realize when they get later in life that they did not enjoy the decisions that they made and they wish they would have made different ones. This is the purest form of regret in my opinion. However, I don't think regret is really necessarily a good emotion to have, especially when you're looking back at choices that you made. As the old saying goes, it's really important to live with no regrets, but for me that means a little bit different than what it means for other people. I believe that I personally live with no regrets, and the reason I believe that is because every decision that I've made in my past has had influencing factors. I've had things that I wish I would have made different decisions, but I don't necessarily regret those. It's important to know that you can separate those two. Wishing that you had made a different decision and regretting that decision are two very different things. It's important to note that when you are making a decision, there are a lot of influencing factors around you. There are a lot of family members who want to push you to do a certain thing, your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever it is. There are a lot of influencing factors around you. Take for instance what a lot of people on this platform have done, having to make a decision between going for a salary job or going for YouTube. Well, some people may have gone to a salary job and really had a shot at YouTube and look back and see how much the platform has exploded and decided, you know, I really wish I would have made the move to YouTube. And they could consider that a regret, but to me, that's not necessarily a regret. I feel like regret is only when you put negative connotations towards that feeling. As we all grow, we make different choices, and those choices are based around the environment that we live in. We all have things in our life where we can look back and say, I wish I would have made a different decision, whether that be a girlfriend, whether that be a job that you took, whether it be buying a separate car that you didn't want. It really changes from person to person. However, you can't necessarily look back and say that I had all the information there, therefore I could have made a better decision. Being an 18-year-old and looking back at a girl I dated when I was 16 might have been like, that was a real mistake. I don't know why I would have done that. But at the time, you didn't have the same knowledge and the same understanding of life and what it means to be in a relationship and the different things that you really want for a partner. You didn't know that back when you were 16. And so it's important to remember not to regret those decisions because you didn't have the knowledge that you have now, and the knowledge that you have now and the understanding that you've gained from your experiences are helping you to understand that you should have made those different choices in the past and will help you to make better choices in the future. It's important to never regret a decision in my mind. Instead of regretting it, just use what you've learned and push it towards the next thing. For instance, between my sophomore and junior year of high school, I decided to switch schools. Most of that was due to the basketball team that I played on. I had really hoped to get a good chance at playing in college, and I decided that I wanted to move schools from a kind of small private school to go to a larger public school where I was going to be able to make the best impact possible and get a lot of notoriety to be able to play college basketball. Now looking back on that decision, I wish I would have changed schools earlier. We made a really good run and we were a pretty good team, and if I would have joined that team earlier, our chemistry would have been locked down because for my junior year when I first went there, we weren't necessarily as good, and a lot of that was due to us trying to grow together as a team. I really wish that I had made the decision from my freshman year to play there, but there would have been other factors that changed who I would become as a person. It would have changed me completely because between my sophomore and junior year, I grew so much and I learned so much about not just basketball, but about life in general and about the decisions that I needed to make. It also helped me meet a bunch of new people, a lot of whom I have connections with to this day. So it's important to not necessarily regret a decision, but to understand that when you wish that you had made a different choice, that the choices that you made build to who you are as a person today. Now, making the choice to switch schools is not necessarily as consequential as something like making a mistake where you were drunk driving and you hit another car and now you're injured or you're crippled or you crippled someone else or you injured someone else, something of a more consequential degree, and those could be regrets, but you still made decisions based on what your environment was and what you were doing at that time, and it's going to teach you how to make different decisions when given the same opportunity. I would say that if I was given the same opportunity to switch schools or to look for a better school, I will now know what to look for, because between my sophomore year and my junior year, I saw two completely different atmospheres. And now when I go look for a college, I can tell you what I like about a school and what I don't, because I realized I did not like the school that I was at on freshman and sophomore year. I really got an understanding of what it was that I didn't like and what it was that I did like about the school that I went to, and I was able to translate that into making a good choice of where I wanted to go for college. That is basically a very long-winded explanation to try to tell you that when you make a decision and you feel like regretting something, if you regret dating that girl, taking that job, think back to realize that you had a lot of other influential factors that were going on in your life right now. If you ever have the idea of thinking back to yourself and saying, what was I thinking when I did this? Remember that your life was completely different, your understanding and your knowledge was completely different at the time, and that the decisions that you made, even if they were poor and they came out to poor consequences, that they have still changed you and made you who you are today. So I would say that it's good to understand what wrong and right decisions are and what ones you should make in the future, but the only thing that you can do is go forward and make better decisions in the future, and those mistakes that you have made in the past will help that. I know this is a different video than what I do from normal, and I feel like I'm saying that a lot lately, but this is kind of a more abstract idea video that I really thought of when I was driving to work, and I was like, you know what, I really would like to explain my feelings and thoughts about this certain topic. I know I'm really getting my drifter on. If you guys know who that is, it'll make sense to you. But it's more of just a video where I describe like a personal idea. And so let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Let me know any kind of instances of personal regret that you have down in the comments, and how that changed your life for the better or how it changed your life for the worse, and things you regret. Just be involved down in the comment section below. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the support of the videos. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll have new videos coming out to you soon. My name is Velocity, and I'm signing out. Peace.